Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Cora. Welcome to my library.
But I know it's not perfect, but maybe that's what we need.
Fairest by Marissa Meyer. First off, I just want to apologize for calling it The Fairest in every one of my videos. I didn't realize that it was just Fairest. I didn't see that there was no the, so I understand now why she wanted us to read this before winter. The book Winter is obviously going to be about the character Winter. And like I said in my before I read discussion, we needed to be better introduced to her before reading that, because we meet her, I think, in Cress, because Scarlett's kidnapped by Mira. We see a little bit of Winter because Scarlett is a prisoner, and Winter kind of comes in there and like talks to her and stuff, and we learn that Winter hasn't been using her lunar gift for years, and it's kind of driving her nuts because that's what happens to lunars when they don't use their gift. Winter just was kind of a random, add-in. I get that Levana is the evil queen from Snow White, so obviously there has to be a Snow White, and that's Winter, but we hadn't heard about Winter until Cress. So it was really nice to be able to see, where Winter came from, who her father is, who her mother was, why she's not using her lunar gift. We didn't really get that information in this, but I think I kind of have an idea. I just want to talk about Levana's character, because this whole thing is centered around Levana's story and why she is who she is. Within like the first 10 pages, I was completely blown away, because this whole time I was sitting here thinking Channery is Cinder's mom's, and Cinder's nice, so how can Channery not be nice? She's evil! My mouth literally just like dropped to the floor. I was so shocked that Channery was evil. Like, I didn't see that coming at all. There's a difference between a villain and an antagonist. A villain, in my opinion, is just the obligatory opposing force in a story, It's somebody with the curly mustache that goes, mwahaha. But an antagonist is someone who is truly flawed in some way. I mean, everyone's flawed, but I mean, like, flawed beyond repair. The antagonist is someone who just relentlessly goes after someone and tries to ruin everything. Look at Disney villains, like every Disney film has a Disney villain for the most part. So after a while there's a repeating pattern. This is a really well done antagonist, and she's probably one of the freakiest antagonists that I've ever seen. Her parents were assassinated. They weren't good rulers. They didn't care about their people just like Channery didn't. They just weren't good people. So Levana wasn't really that sad when they died. Levana didn't have any friends. She was considered like the ugly duckling because of what Channery did to her. At the start of this book, Channery was more evil than Levana was. Levana wasn't evil at the beginning of this book. She was just misunderstood and was really insecure and sad. But because of Channery made Levana who we know her now as. Channery just completely caught me off guard at how evil she was. When she was a little girl, she pushed her baby sister into a freaking fire. And then she tried to say, oh, I was trying to save you. No, you weren't. You freaking pushed her in there for who knows what reason. That's why Levana is so messed up. It's all because of Channery. I'm guessing Levana's parents didn't do anything about it. They mistreated her, they're like, oh, you're ugly now, like, we don't want you anymore. Channery abuses her. Verbally, emotionally, like, every possible way to abuse someone, Channery does that to Levana. And so that just broke my heart. Like, Levana, you can see why she is the way she is. Her parents never really cared for her. They were both assassinated. Her sister treated her like poop. She didn't have any friends. The one person that actually cared about her, she just ruined everything with, because she was so convinced that they were meant to be together, and that's not the way that he cared about her. It's just, her whole situation was messed up. So you can see why and how she got so bad. But Channery is just unprecedented evil. there's no reason for her to have been that way other than the fact that her parents were just, like, crappy rulers. But I don't know if their parents were necessarily evil. I mean, yeah, the king was planning on attacking Earth with Lunamosis and the mutated beast army. But what about the queen? Like, didn't the queen do anything other than look at herself in the mirror? Probably not. But I just don't get it. Like, Channery was pretty much evil from the moment she was born. And that's terrifying. People who are just relentlessly evil for no reason at all. That's just like, huh. It's really scary because I knew that Levana was going to turn out to be the bad guy, of course, because I've read the other 3 books. I felt so bad because, like, she just wanted someone to love her. She'd never had love in her entire life. The one chance that she may have had it, she ruined it because she kept pushing and trying to force it. And it's like, honey, you can't do that. After Solstice died and she was forcing Everett to be with her, that made me so uncomfortable. I was just reading this, I'm like, oh my god, stop, like, this is awful. Like, why would you do this to someone? If you truly loved someone, you wouldn't make them do that, especially so soon after his wife's death. I'm getting secondhand embarrassment here, like, why are you doing this? Stop! What's even scarier, though, Levana was just a teenager who was hurt and going through things that no teenager should go through, lunar or not. She wasn't like Channery. She never wanted to be like Channery. She wanted to be the best queen that Luna ever had. But by the end of the book, she's worse than Channery. That is just terrifying because she doesn't even see it. She doesn't even see how crazy she is. She didn't understand Everett wasn't choosing to be with her. She was forcing him to. She was trying to convince herself, oh, like, I'm just, like, you know, giving him a little nudge, you know, just kind of, like, encouraging him, you know, that I love him or whatever. No! He did not love her like that, and she forced him to be married to her for 10 years. He was pretty much a slave. Winter crying as a baby at their freaking wedding, like, if that doesn't say anything, then what does? Because Winter could probably sense that Levana was not a good person. Like, she was the bad seed. Winter's just crying at the wedding, and I felt so bad because I knew what was going to happen. I'm like, something's going to happen to Everett, like, he's going to die or something, she's going to be an orphan, and she's going to be stuck with Levana. That's actually, though, kind of good because I was worried that Marissa Meyer was going to humanize her. I said that in my Before I Read discussion. I was scared that she was going to be like, oh, no, like, Levana's not evil, she's just, you know, misunderstood, and, like, she's going through a lot. No, she didn't do that. She explained the events that led to Levana being like this, but she didn't reason with them. She didn't make it look like she wasn't evil, because she is. And Marissa Meyer made that very clear, and I'm happy that she did that because I've noticed that in a lot of, like, Disney movies especially, they'll try to do this, you know, they'll try to convince you that, oh, there's good in everybody. Like in Maleficent, the 2014 live-action movie Maleficent, they humanized Maleficent when she's, like, one of the most evil villains in, like, the Disney cinematic universe. Like, that is a fact. And so the fact that they, like, humanized her, you know, made her look like that she cared about Sleeping Beauty is, like, that just kind of annoyed me, you know? So I was worried that that was going to be the case with this, but it wasn't. And I'm really glad about that. Another thing that I was, you know, kind of wrong about, I thought that Levana, like, didn't care about her people at all. I thought that she just wanted to be queen so that she could just control everybody. Which is kind of true because we can see, like, a little more than halfway through the book as she's planning everything, you know, in the outer sectors and trying to take control of Earth, that she's using her lunar gift whenever she goes out to the outer sectors to convince them that they love her. Because she, like I said, she just wanted to be loved. But she doesn't understand what love is. Like, she just makes everyone love her, and it's like, you can't do that, but that's what she was doing. But she does, in her own twisted way, care about her people. Like, she really did try to be a good queen. She wasn't seeing Lunamosis as a extremely tragic disease that was going to kill, like, hundreds of thousands of Earthens. She was seeing it as a way for her people to get what they need, because they were running out of resources, and Earth wouldn't give them any, so they needed a way to pretty much blackmail Earth. Be like, oh, all your people are dying? Cool, we have the antidote, so we'll give you it if you know, give us some of your resources and maybe even have a marriage alliance. Like, oh, that part when Channery was talking about when Kai was a little kid. Oh my god, Channery was like, maybe one day the queen will be assassinated, and she kind of did get assassinated because when Ludomosis was released, that's how she died. Channery is evil! I thought that Levana killed Channery in the fire. That whole thing that started all this, she wasn't. Channery died of a cough that she caught in the outer sectors because she would go out there and go fool around with some of the high authoritative figures in the palace. I was really surprised by that. I was like, wait, she didn't kill Channery? I thought that was the whole thing that started all this, because people were like, rumors have it that she killed the queen or whatever so that she could take over. I wasn't expecting Levana's story to be this sad. When they were describing her being pushed into the fire, that was a horrifying scene. I can understand why she felt like she had to cover herself up all the time. She was scared that people would see her as a monster and they wouldn't love her, even though that's the whole reason why they don't love her. Because it's not the outside that's a monster, it's the inside. Something that really gave me chills was when the book cover was revealed for why she did this book cover. It's Channery's mirror, which makes sense why it says queen at the bottom. The veil that Levana's wearing, it's not a veil, it's a curtain. She has a mental breakdown when she's in her bedroom and she takes the curtain off of the bed and pulls it over her face because she just showed her face to Everett for the first time ever. He saw what she truly looks like and he was horrified. So that's when she realized, oh, he's never loved me. I just was so convinced that he loved me because I was so in love with him. She literally has a mental breakdown, rips a curtain off of her bed, and pulls it over her face so no one will see what she looks like. So that's what that is. And then the mirror is in Channery's room, which she hasn't seen for years. And she goes in there and she's just looking in the mirror, and then she just screams and starts throwing everything she can get her hands on at the mirror until it completely shatters and is destroyed. That, I was like, after that she demanded that they have all the mirrors destroyed and they throw all the glass into Artemisia Lake. That explains why she doesn't want to be seen, because it just reminds her of not only that she is not attractive looking, but it shows her who she really is, because she was talking about the mirrors, how she hates their reflections, their truth. So I think her problem is not so much that she's ugly, but that when she looks in the mirror, she sees what she really looks like, and that's what she imagines herself looking on the inside because of everything that she's done. Everything makes sense now. When they introduced Garrison Clay at Everett's wedding, I'm like, wait, Clay? That's Jason Clay's dad! Like, oh, it's little Jason! And just reading the scene about Jason and Winter, playing together as they're growing up, I'm like, you could tell that this is why they're in love, because they were childhood friends. But, isn't Jason, kind of a bad guy, because he's still working for Levana since he's the guard? I don't know. I wanted to cry when she talked about Dr. Darnell, because I knew that's Cress's dad. Levana said that Dr. Darnell's daughter turned out to be a shell, and that they gave her up for the bioengineering experiments to figure out how to do all the Ludomosis, antidotes and stuff. I was just so sad. I'm like, no, that's Cress! What are you doing? And then he left. That was just so weird, seeing all the little Easter eggs from all the previous books. I'm like, oh, there's Jason's dad, and oh, that's where Winter came from. It's filling in all the little holes, and it's these books aren't Swiss cheese anymore. It was short, but it didn't feel rushed. It was straightforward, and sometimes I need that because I tend to read books that have a lot of imagery and detail, and sometimes it can just get to be too much. But this wasn't like that. It was a nice little break. She told you exactly everything that happens, and she gave you just enough detail for it to not be boring. It was never confusing. I always knew exactly what was going on, except at the very end, because I didn't see Everett's death coming. I knew he was gonna die because he had to, he's not mentioned in the other books, but I didn't know that she was gonna have him murdered. This entire time she's always been like, oh, I love you so much, we're gonna be together forever, and then she has him murdered. It's just, what? It doesn't make sense, because he was her motivation for everything. Why did she have him killed? She didn't like Winter. She's said it several times that she never liked winter because she was the daughter of her nemesis, being Solstice, because she was Everett's actual wife. Why didn't she just send him away with winter? Because that's what he wanted, and that way he could still live, and she wouldn't have to deal with winter. You know, she's the queen. Like, she can do whatever she wants, and she's proven that several times. So, I just don't get it. Like, why does she kill him? That's just another reason why she's crazy, because she rationalizes these insane things, being like, it has to be done, like, I have to be able to marry Emperor Recon, like, ugh, it's so twisted. Like, in my book tag, my Harry Potter Spells book tag, I said that the most twisted book I've ever read is From Bad to Cursed by Katie Allender. This takes its place, because just her slow demise of sanity. This book made me cringe at how, like, disturbing it was. I was like, just the fact that she's okay with using shells for the Ludimosis experiments, it's like, what? I actually didn't know that the mutated army and the Ludimosis things were the king's idea. I always thought that was something that Levana came up with on her own, but it wasn't. It was the king's ideas. So that just makes you wonder, like, if Levana had been treated better, if her parents had actually given a crap about her and not treated her like she was, you know, a monster because of how she looked, would she have still turned out like this? It's just sad to think about. She really was just an abused child that just wanted to be loved, and she lost everything, so. I don't want to end the video like this. All that there's left to do is give it its rating. I would say this is 5 stars out of 5. That's impressive for me, because I tend to be, like, really critical when it comes to books. Like, I might not explain it very well in my book discussion videos because I'm still getting used to being a booktuber. Like, I'm brand new, so I get flustered and I don't know how to word things properly. But when I'm off camera, I really do critically analyze books. That's impressive that you got a 5-star rating from me. So good job, Marissa Meyer. I'm looking forward to reading Winter. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And I will see you on Wednesday for my next story time. Bye!